Okay, so in this eye, again, you can see that greenish, yellowish, light brown color. That's lymph stagnation, okay, especially the green parts here. And it indicates that your kidneys are not filtering out metabolic waste. Your lymph system is stagnant, and this is holding up acids, and acids affecting every tissue, organ, and gland. You have cholesterol in the arterial pupil, that's potential cataract and eye issues. You have a purple hue around the arterial iris, indicates cholesterol as well. Now, the body uses cholesterol to bind to acids to protect you, to bind to metabolic waste. So in this case, you have indicated around the iris as well as in the arterial pupil. You have a small pupil, this indicates nervous tension as well, okay, due to weak adrenals. If you look on the whites here, you see a lot of inflammation. You see the red blood vessels, indicates high acidosis, okay, which is in line with the cholesterol ring. And behind the cholesterol ring is the skin ring. It's a dark ring. Indicates you're not sweating properly. This is due to a weak thyroid and also weak kidneys. When the kidneys can't filter out metabolic waste, the skin is going to try and take the burden, and the skin is not efficient, so it will keep the acids underneath the skin. Okay, so possible skin eruptions can occur. So I would sweat more. I would use the 100% fruit diet and the herbs. I would just begin to share with you. The bowels are also very quite enlarged. Right here is the ascending colon. Right here is the transverse colon. Right here is the descending colon. You can see it's quite big. All here is the bowels. And if you look closely around the bowels, there's a line going around the bowels, also called autonomic nerve wreath. Indicates that you have a weak digestive system. Okay, and you see that dark ring around the arterial pupil. That's a malabsorption ring. Means that you're not absorbing your nutrients properly, and it's quite thick. Okay, so I would use the bowel cleanser and the bowel strength tincture to help clean and remove the mucus plaque here as well. The brain section is full of mucus and congestion. You can see quite heavy. The very top part here is the hair and scalp region. There's potential hair and scalp issues arising. You have radicularis, fine lines leaching out of the pupil. This indicates toxic tunnels of waste leaching out from the bowels to other body parts and glands, especially in the brain section right here. Okay, so this needs to be cleaned up. So I would use neurological 1 tincture and a circulation tincture as well. So right here is the epileptic center of the brain, and beside it is the medulla and mastoid as well as cerebellum. Now, when the mastoid and medulla is responsible for dizziness, balancing, and equilibrium, when there's an issue with it, you have those potential issues arising. Cerebellum is the main hard drive, or the hard drive of the brain to the rest of the body. It sends information from the brain to the rest of the body, so you want it in good working order. I would use a neurological 1 tincture to help strengthen this region. Okay. This section right here is the pituitary gland. You can see it's covered with lymph. Okay, when the pituitary gland is weak, all the other endocrine glands are going to be weak as well. Because it's the master gland. It's the gland that controls the thyroid, parathyroid, pineal, hypothalamus. So you want it in good working order. I would use endocrine tincture. Right here is where the pineal gland is located. This is a gland responsible for sleep, okay, and also hormone regulation. When it's compromised, you're going to have some sleep issues arising. So I'll use the endocrine gland tincture as well. And right here beside here is the forehead region, also heavy with lymph stagnation congestion. You want to detox this. I would use neurological tincture and the circulation 1 tincture. Right here is the ear, neck, and shoulder region, all heavy with lymph stagnation congestion. Okay, you want to detox that as well. And this section right here is the upper and then lower lung region, all heavy with lymph stagnation congestion. The heart is located right here. You see that darkness? The heart is congested with lymph. So I'll use a circulation tincture to address this. This section right here is the chest, ribs, and thorax region. Okay, you can see heavy lymph stagnation congestion. The breast is located right here. Okay, so again, use a circulation tincture as well, because you want to help remove the mucus build up over here. Right here is where the left arm and hand is located, and right here is where the spleen is. This dark spot here is where the spleen is located. The spleen is what cleans the blood. Okay, it's the main organ that cleans the blood. So you want a good working order. I would use a spleen tincture to help strengthen that region. Right here is where the diaphragm is located, okay, and right here is where the ovaries and testes will be. And the testes for the male, ovaries and the female, and the pancreas right here. You can see it's dark as well. So I would use the liver and pancreas tincture to help strengthen this. For the testes, I would use the prostate formula because it's anti-inflammatory, and use circulation down tincture to strengthen that part. So right here is where the pelvis, abdominal wall, and the groin region are all located. Okay, again, use circulation down tincture to boost blood flow to this region. Right here is the left foot, knee, and thigh region. You can see it's covered with mucus or lymph. You need this addressed. Look closely around the eye. You see rings going round and round. Those are nerve rings. It indicates that your adrenals are weak. Okay, so when adrenals are weak, you're going to have nerve rings. You're going to have the autonomic nerve wreath around the bowels, which I show you. That dark line around the bowels is an autonomic nerve wreath. Indicates that you have a weak digestive system. And if you look closely, you see white dots going around the iris, okay, and the outer section. That's your lymph nodes, and they are swelling or getting stagnant. So you want to address this. You got to work on the kidneys, and you got to work on the lymph system by going 100% fruit diet and use lymphatic herbs, lymphatic 1 tincture, and kidney herbs and kidney tea. Right here is left foot, knee, and thigh region. Okay, you can see heavy lymph stagnation congestion. I'll use the lower circulation tincture to address this. And right here is where the kidneys are located and the adrenals. You can see the adrenals especially are dark. So when the adrenals are weak, you're going to have the nerve rings, as I mentioned, and the autonomic nerve wreath. But also the adrenals control the kidneys. So when the adrenals are weak, kidneys are also weak. And the fact that you have a lot of lymph stagnation, the yellow, orangey green color, that's lymph stagnation, is due to the kidneys not filtering the lymph system. So I would use a kidney tea, I would use 2 kidney tinctures, the kidney flush and the urinary kidney formula to help strengthen this region, because kidneys and adrenals are kings when it comes to healing, because without those, you cannot remove the metabolic waste causing the issues or any potential issues arising. Right, this section, this dark spot here, right here is where the prostate is, and here the penis region is, okay? So it's getting congested with lymph. So I would use the prostate formula and use the circulation down tincture to boost blood flow to this region. Okay, and right here is where the bladder is located. You can see heavy lymph stagnation and congestion. Okay, when you fix the kidneys, the bladder will also get relief as well. Right here is where the lower back is located, the middle back, okay, and the upper back region, all heavy lymph stagnation and congestion. You see that white line is going across the spine region as well. So, use the circulation tinctures to help cleanse this region, as well as the 100% fruit diet. Okay, right here is where the scapula is located, and right here is the esophagus, and here's the voice box. All heavy lymph stagnation and congestion. I would use the respiratory tea and the respiratory 1 tincture to help address this region as well. And right here is where the thyroid is located. You can see it's congested with lymph. When the thyroid is weak, you're going to have the skin ring. Okay, it shows a skin ring, because it means you're not sweating properly or as efficiently as you should. It also could possibly mean that your metabolism is down as well. It's not as strong as it should be. So I would address this. Use the thyroid lift tincture. Beside here, right here is the tonsils. Right here is the parathyroid. The tonsils are the main lymph nodes of the head region. It's what drains acids or cleans acid out of the head region and converts it to a lesser acid and sent to the kidneys where it's eliminated. So we want to cleanse it out, to clean the sinuses, clean the head region to address this. The parathyroid is what's responsible for calcium utilization. When you have expanded bowels like these, large bowels like this, it indicates a weak parathyroid because the tissue integrity is weak. That's due to weak calcium utilization issues. So I would use the parathyroid glandula and the endocrine tincture to help strengthen this. Right is where the tongue, lower jaw, mouth, the nose, upper jaw, and the eye region are located. Okay, right is eye, so you can see it's full of mucus. So this is sinuses. You want to relieve congestion in sinuses by chewing horseradish root, by use hot cocoa compressed at the back of the head, by using ear candling, clean the mucus in the eyes, do eye washes, anything you can do to break the mucus out from here, because when the head region also houses the pituitary gland and other endocrine glands, and you don't want it to be affected, and as well as the brain. So use the neurological tincture as well, use the circulation tincture to help address this region. So in this eye overall, the level of lymph stagnation is quite prominent, okay? So you need to get the kidneys and adrenals working properly. You need to go 100% fruit diet. You got to clean the bowels. The malabsorption ring here is pretty thick. So use the bowel cleanser and bowel strength tincture. You gotta clean the brain section, use the neurological 1 tincture and the circulation 1 tincture. Work on the thyroid, work on the chest region, use circulation tincture for the heart and for the the lung regions, respiratory 1 tea and respiratory tincture. Just go 100% fruit diet, cleanse this up a bit, because you can see you have yellow tints in the eye. That's liver weakness as well, okay? And you want to clear all this up. If you give it time, it's going to take a bit of time because it's quite deep. Okay, you're going to feel great as you go along, and in time this will lighten to much lighter brown color, and you see less inflammation in the eyes.